Welcome back. It's Rosa Hart. What a terrible sight. The demon created by 6 horns on their head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The lord of the castle lungs with his sword sticks the horror demons dead. Huh? I broke into a smile at the sound of the singing I heard outside. It must be the running children from the village. What they're doing all the way in here? The headman frowned, starting to stand, but I shook my head. It's okay, let them play. Are you sure? Yes, it's calming hearing the children play. I felt like I'll return to a more peaceful time when there were no demons. What a terrible sight. The demons created by 6 horns on their head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That brings back memories. I used to sing that song and play ball too. Oh, you too? I played it often as well. I wonder who taught me. I know the song as long as I can remember. As have all the children around here. The children's voices continue floating from the outside. He sits so still, eyes open wide, face froze stiff, a terrible sight. I suddenly felt a chill. No, it felt like the sun had hidden and the air had become human. Princess? The headman looked at me curious as all a sudden hug my arms around myself. It's nothing. I regarded my curtain and smiled. I suddenly got a very bad feeling. Just what was that about? 1, 2, 3, 4, the children then sang. Their voice continued to ring on and on. For a while, the demon's attack became infernal. Toward small numbers, sometimes prowling around the castle, easily drove them back. The farmers become familiar and adaptable at how to deal with the demons, appearing the fight's powers of the heroes I summoned here had an influence on the others. I snug out things I could do to combine, and was now helping with the medicing and laundry. You really don't have to do any of this, Princess. Unforeseen the mountains of sewing, I appreciate the headman's sigh. But I can't think of anything else I could possibly do to help. Although I'm not very good, so I might be more of my brother than a help. I've always been better at tree climbing and archery than more women hobbies. Of course, you're not a bother. We can use all the help we can get right now. Well, that doesn't make me feel much better. I guess I just at least resource then. Oh, forgive me. I didn't mean to be rude. The head maid and I exchanged smiles and giggled, but her expression suddenly shifted. What's the matter? Oh. No sooner had I asked than I found out my answer. Princess. Herm from down the hall was walking over to us with his usual easy smile. Do you have any plans for the rest of the day? Well, I just have the sewing to do. There's no need for a princess to be doing chores like that. Let someone else deal with the sewing and come with me. His tone was polite enough, but it was clearly an order. Hun turned and spoke to the maid. This is no work for a princess. You're going to take care of the sewing and... You're being bossy. No. I cut Hun off before he could finish. No. I was the one who asked for work to do. I would set a bad example to abandon it now. Once I finish, I'll stop by your room. Fine, I'll be waiting for you. Herb spoke with a smile, but I could see a cold heart gleam in his eyes. Let's go. I prompted the maid to continue with me and start to walk. Yes, ma'am, but Princess, are you sure about this? She stood to my back and we watched her go very calm. It's fine. Later, Hearn seems completely unconscious about any sin of providence. It was like he was trying to embarrass me, always coming to prompt me. It took all my effort to try and get my own way sometimes. Soon it was evening. Inside her run, I brought my I don't get you sometimes. You know very well that resisting will hurt only you. Her voice echoed from not far from my ear. The light of the shells that dance around the room. Even at times like this, Herm never even loses his color. I was reminded again every time that I have no more than a playing thing to him. His eyes narrow as he smiled. You should speak up instead of just trying to bear it. I couldn't. That was the one thing I couldn't do. There were other vessel rooms nearby. Surely some of them would be still awake. Her voice was amused. So stubborn. Fine, do as you like. But mourning's a long way away. I listened to his voice with a hopeless feeling in my heart. As usual, Herb didn't cross that very last line. He probably just loathed the idea of fathering a child and having someone find out. Although I couldn't understand why he was then so open about asking for me in front of others. I didn't want to ask the reason. I figured it was better to leave well enough alone. When I was finally then, I fell into a short sleep. As I dozed off, half asleep, I heard someone painful coughing. Who is that? A memory of one listening to someone cough like that. Feeling my heart break. Please don't leave me. Don't leave me here alone. Cough, cough, cough. The heavy breathing, the loneliness turned to bear the pain alone. The born body grew weaker by day. It hit me. Hun? The curtain had become clear. Hun was crouching over in the corner of the room coughing, still slipping my gown on. I hurried over to his side. When I rubbed his back, he roughly shrugged my hand away. I don't need your help. I just hurt my throat a little. Just stay over there and be quiet like a good little trophy. I squeezed my erected hand. You don't have to remind me what I am to you. Utterly a toy to him. Once he's tired of me, I'll be soon thrown out. I just don't like watching anyone suffer. I reached my hand out again. This time her didn't try to push me away when I rubbed his back. I'll bring you some medicine and later. It will weaken your body if you keep coughing. You better take care of it soon as possible. What did the doctor say? We better have him come have another look at you. You're used to this, aren't you? Answered my cunningly. It sounds like you taking care of someone else with a bad cough before. Yeah, I have once. The dream I had just before walking had been about my eyes of my fiance's death. Even in dreams, I could not remember his name or face, but I knew in my heart that it had happened. And what happened to him? He passed away. When? I don't remember anymore. It was long ago. And gave a quiet cough, and then fall silence. From through the door, I could not see the sky slowly but surely becoming light. From somewhere came the song of a bird, annoying the coming of morning. How strange. Why did I feel so at peace, even after all the horrible way this man had treated me? Princess. On top of my head, hand wiped around my shoulders. Hans' hand came to a rest. I pouted loudly. His touch was different than the way he touched me before. He starts to speak, unconsciously hesitant. His face looked somewhat young. He was obviously struggling to decide whether to talk. You. And in his sitters with one word. Yes? His hand left mine. Never mind, go back to your room. But weren't you about to say? It wasn't important. Herb looked up at me with his usual cold smirk. There's no reason for a plaything to stay here any longer. This man wanted to hurt me. He wanted to look down on me, to make me feel disappointed. And in reality, that was a very easy thing to accomplish. It's hard to believe in the middle of such terrible times. I mean, they were engaged, but still, they're not married. And there is such a thing as resentment. I thought it was nice of them to put off the wedding for a more permanent time, but now... No kidding. They are at it every single night. Apparently the princess was seen leaving Harm's room again at dawn today. From sunset until dawn. Ho ho, that's certainly something. For such a thin guy, he got some stamina. I'm sure like to hear his secret. Well, I just hope this doesn't affect him to prefer when he really needs it. Shh. When the fairy caught sight of my handmaid and I, they all bowed their heads at once. Well, well. Even the princess is hard at work. That's very amusing. Ooh. Hey, I'm doing good. I keep going up. I had to be open and honest everything. Within I stood tall. It hurts being exposed to men's loud eyes, but everything I did was out of necessity. If at least I stood strong and proud, I wouldn't lose my dignity. I'm not interested in hearing any flattery. If you want to entertain gossip, then more carefully about where you do it so. Oh, no, princess, we weren't. Come on, let's go. Yes, princess. Not wanting to hear any bubbling excuse, I called to my maid and left without looking back. I heard the ugly rumors, whether I wanted to or not. On the surface, everyone politely waits on me, but this was because I was a princess. Their bowed heads had burnt grins. They thought I wouldn't notice they were laughing at me. If I had been just a servant, they would have worn their scars and mocked me more openly. Princess, what? The handmaid bit her lip, recovering to speak. Tears streamed from her eyes. Hey, what's wrong? Why are you crying? Because this is so humiliating. What on earth is Sir Thing treating you like this? He's changed so much. He used to be such a wonderful person. There's a reason for that. I put my arm around the headman's shoulders. I'm sure I'm suffering right now too, forcing it into a forgiven land, plagued by illness, confused by false memories, consumed with the war. But that's not an excuse. I never meant to cause you any worry on my behalf. I'm sorry. She appeared to have no more words. She pressed her face into my shoulder and sobbed. It wasn't so hard. No matter what illness was spoke behind my back, I had people who cared for me. People didn't think bad of me. I hate seeing them worry for my sake, but it wasn't they who gave me strength. That evening, I once again ran a summon from Herb. But this time, something was different. Herb asked for me. Yes, he asked for you to go see him if you were able. This was unusual. Usually I was ordered to go, with no curtain of my curtain. All right, tell him I'll be right there. I walked along the dark halls to Herb's door and realized there was 2 men speaking inside. Got it. So should I follow the demons, right? That voice, who was it? The man's voice sounded for her, but Herb, it's me, Rose. Come in. I entered as told and found that the other man was Kern. Kern's smile was warm and friendly, not at all comforting to my illusion of a ninja. Princess, nice to see you again. Yes, same here. We haven't met since the evening you came to the castle, I believe. There was no dancing in Kern's smile, but in fact a charming innocence. Ninjas were known for their king-hearness. It was impossible that Kern hadn't heard the rumors. The first night we met, the Prussian had been unfortunate, but apparently he had another side. I took a seat in an open spot in the circle. Why did you ask for me tonight? Actually, then allowed me to borrow Kern for a while. I'm thinking about taking him and his men and infiltrating the demon's lair hideout. And therefore, there's something I'd like to ask for your help with. Me? I cocked my head to the side, confused. If there's anything I can do to help, I want you to teach me some of the children's songs. Children's songs? Right, I heard the red children in the castle singing. And cleared his throat and began to sing. What a terrible sight of the demon creature by 6 horns on their head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The lord of the castle longs with his sword, stick, sacks. The horrible demon is dead. Interesting. Why do you want to learn that? He's completely tone deaf. Oh! I took me by surprise, sudden his unending weakness of Herb. I nearly burst out laughter, but I didn't try to hold back. My body silently shook, and it also shook behind me. With the same odd expression, spoke up. It's not good to hold it in, princess, huh? I'm not holding anything in. Give it up already. I can see it in your face, and if you don't laugh, then I can't either. What are you two talking about? Left out of the joke, Herb cocked his head to the side, confused. I can't. At least Kern had reached his limit. He grabbed his stomach and started to groan. Stop it, Kern. Don't be rude to him. You're laughing just as hard as I am. Only because you started it. What the hell is so funny? Tell me right now. I slapped his knees and frowned. Herb, sir, you're a terrible singer. Herb slightly pouts. I somehow managed to revert my laughter. Why are you interested in that song? I want to know more about it. Your men and the other festivals don't know it. And I'm not from around this area. The men might not know it, since we girls sing those songs when we play with the ball. The song you just sang was from the time my unwanted ward with the Run clan. The name Run means 6 horns, like the demon mock in the song. This is how the rest goes. Though he stroked the demon's castle seek, just as stunned, Run clan's already dead. He sat so still, eyes open wide, face frozen stiff, a terrible sight. And then you start to count rhyme. When I finished singing, Crow broke out into applause. Bravo, bravo, you got a lovely voice. It sounds much better sung by a woman after all. And already dead? And here's deep in thought about something. Did that help you? Yes, there was one part of the curtain with my own idea. And what idea would that be, can I ask? Not yet. I'll tell you once I figure out the details. I like speaking with her like this, when his eyes were gentle and cool. Thanks, I can't wait to hear more about it. And glanced at me as I smiled, and then, annoyed for some reason, turned away. And after watched our exchange with a grin, interested. You look much better now, Princess. I'm glad to see you well. Really? Yeah, when I first got here, you looked really terrible. I did that bad. Yes, maybe laughing at Herm's song helped a little. All women look pretty with a happy smile. Kern grabbed his crossed legs and started to swing back and forth like a child. And when you do that, you look nothing like a head ninja. Really? Really, when we met the other night, I thought you were some sort of bad guy. That's awful mean. As Kern and I smiled at each other, suddenly Herb looked up from his books and spoke. Princess. Oh yes, what is it? You helped me with what I want. I don't need you here anymore. Instead of running around in here, go back to your room. I hate being oaked that way. What's with such churn, even in front of Kern? It's heartbroken. Before I even had the time to be angry, I felt sad. I hung my head and got to my feet. Well then, I guess I'll just as I started to say goodbye, Kern interrupted me. Hey, Herb. That's no way to talk to her. With his eyes still fixed on his book, Kern answered grumpily. This has nothing to do with you, Kern. Huh. Going to be rude to me now? Are you? I can be rude if I want. I overtaxed you. I was put out of respect as a military leader. I thought I told you to stop standing there like a fool and go back to your room, Princess. When he finally raises his head, his eyes create a merry smile. Unless you feel like having a nice, long talk with a different man for once. Ouch. In that case, please find yourself a different room so I won't be disturbed. Ha, I have no idea you were such a coward. And then got to his feet. And glanced at Kern but Kern was unfazed. How odd are you anyway, Kern? You're being an idiot. Does it make you feel good bullying a girl like this? And lips twist in a snarl. Ha, what would a ninja know about anything? For I answered an angry cloud, Kern faced, but he soon regained his composure. What is it now? I know you didn't mean that. What you just said. If that was really how you felt, you'd be a sad man. A truly wise man who never thinks that way. Let's go, Princess. We better let Kern take some time to cool off. I'll walk you back to your room. Yeah. I don't know. But Herb, and snort at my current. Forget about that stubborn food. You're too nice to him. What he needs is a little time to be left alone. Herb didn't speak. His eyes were on his book. I only thought I had seen his shoulders slide slightly. Only after we left the room and were about to close the door did he finally speak up. Kern, what? I'm sorry about what I said. He didn't met Kern's eyes, but at least he apologized, felt bad about his actions. In his handsome feature was the faint hint of regret. Maybe you should think long and hard about why you can say that to me, but not to Rose. With that, Kern shuts the door. I stood on the other side of the door, watching Herb shout. Kern taps me on the shoulder. Leave him, okay? It's no use talking to him right now. Come on, let's go. He then starts to walk off ahead. I fall in strange that even though he's acting so familiar towards me, it didn't bother me at all. As he walked in front of me, he spoke without turning around. You know, Princess, what? You might not know it, but Herb acts like that because he's jealous, huh? You and I get along so well, it makes him jealous. Even though he should just be honest about it instead of being mean to you, you know. Hidden eyes as he glanced back at me, having a light merging into them. But I really think he might not care about me at all. No way. Ask you to go see him to ask about that song was just an excuse. You could ask any old servant or maid about such a common song. It's obvious that he asked for you just because he wanted to see you. You really think so? No doubt about it. Deep down, he wants to get along with you. Well, he's doing a shitty job at that. Probably he's more of a bright little kid than anyone around here realizes. The fact that he's so bright only makes it worse for you and for himself. When you think about it like that, I actually feel sorry for him. Her glance was fixed on a moonshine outside the window. He looked somehow sad. After we said goodnight, I was alone in my room. No doubt about it. Deep down, he wants to get along with you. Kern's words still echo in my ears. Could that really be true? My heart starts to beat more quickly. I hope it was true, but if it was true, all of a sudden, a flow of tears flowed in my eyes. If it was true, how wonderful would that be? If Helen really cared about for me as a person, as a woman, it would be comfort behind this threat. I suddenly realized how worried I became. How much stress I've been under, put on brave face every day. I put on my face in my hands. Even the dagger, usually so in to talk when I was alone. I was silent today, but I was grateful for that. For now, all I wanted to do was be myself and cry. 50%. Hey, that's not bad. Born on Judgment Day. After all the crying until all of my tears had just run out, I slept well that night, appearing exhausted. Thinking back of the past several days, I spent every single night in Herm's room. I have hardly got any sleep. I was naturally that I would be tired. Oh, Princess, your eyes are so red. I haven't had my eyes with a wet cloud. I'm sorry, I must really feel awful to have cried this much. But I really don't feel bad at all. After crying myself out, my spirits had lifted. My head felt much calmer and calmer than before. That's good to hear. But still, if someone was mean to you, I'd like to give them a piece of my mind. Thank you. I might take you up on that someday. Excuse me? A page appeared outside of my door. Princess, Lord Kern requested your presence. What on earth could he want to see for me? This was the first time he's ever asked for me, like, since he's become my father. No, after almost calling him by name, I quickly stopped and corrected myself. Father, it's me. You wanted to see me? Yes, come in. When I walked into the room, all of my heads were already gathered inside. I walked in the middle of the room. What was that you wanted? Not a moment after staring at my face, None burst into laughter. What is so funny? Ha! I happened to overhear, but her eyes are so red. Huh? Nar was overcome with laughter so hard he had to wipe away tears. I heard about your many long nights together. I knew you both young but still progressive. Fine caught into what he was talking about. My entire body burned up with Martin. He was making fun of Herb and me sleeping together. He was mocking me, his fake daughter, but daughter nonetheless, in front of all these important men. Ooh. That's not very nice. Deny it. No matter what I say, it would serve only make things worse. When I agreed to Herb's proposal, I've been thinking about this country and its people. But what would say that now profish? It only sounds like an excuse. I was mortified. I was only ashamed. I would have happened to slip my own throat on the spot. Peasants looked down, some curled their mouths, others not trying to hide their laughter. I didn't see Krum there. Ren was silent and but looking uncomfortable. Ren stood up, very furious. Far. What kind of far would, if I may intertwine? Until then, Herb had sit unashamed, but now he spoke up. I'd like to take advantage of this opportunity to make an announcer to you all. His voice was cold and clear and bold. Oh, what could it be? Do tell us. I'm aware that there are rumors being spread about the nature of Rose and my relationship, but they're all false. And lips curl into a smirk. What? Is that now? Are you saying that you haven't been intimate with my princess? That will become obvious enough whether she gets married. Her body remains pure. The room ends with murmurs until the speak I silently look at her. Ooh, my body still stays liar. I'm gonna watch with her. I didn't understand what he was trying to do, so I didn't feel like I could say anything. It was true we weren't going all the way, but why was he announcing it like this all of a sudden? Well, Well then, her, please do tell us what you two have been doing. The princess have been treating my sickness all night long, yes. She's been then nursing me back to health, rubbing my back and blurring medicine. Her tone was gone. Before I realized, he was smiling. It was August's generous smile, the same one I seen when he left the castle together. I've always been frustrated. I didn't like being touched by strangers. I also didn't want anyone else to find out how sick I was. Even though she's no longer my fiancée, I do not mind her touch or her knowing. I hadn't gotten worse, and so I've been relying on her kindness. But because of that, certain rumors have been spreading about her. Not wanting to let it go on like this, I take the chance to tell you all the truth. Herb deeply bows his head. I realize I have just failed you all, my lord. I apologize for discerning the princess' good name. Herb. Unable to command what happened, I looked on, stunned. I see. Maonan snapped his fat shut. That's enough. In light of the princess saying, you are forgiven. I grew weary of this conversation. More importantly, what is this announcement you had? It must be rather important to have gathered us all here, I presume. Yes, sir. I have Ernst the servant of the demons. What? The vessel shot to his feet. I see. You're referring to the person or creator gun their attack. For a long time, I wondered about this demon, Gun of the Underground. I wondered why they are so ill and to this country of ours. Ern looked thoughtful. Good point. If they were attacking at random, other countries should have been affected too. Right, but it's because only this country and the neighbor castle right on the border. Precisely. It much too friend an effort for unknown demons. Therefore, there must be action on someone else's orders. The moan grew weaker and strange. None eyes gleamed. Ah, so there's someone directing their actions. Yes. But I could not think of anyone in this area with this much in for us at the moment. Then I had an idea. Then her paused and looked at me. Princess, would you sing this song from last night for us? Oh, okay. I took a deep breath and then started singing out. Everyone in the room heard. What a terrible sight! Demons, creatures by 6 horns on their head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The lord of the castle longs with his sword. 6 stacks the horrible demons dead. Through the sticks of the demon strikes the demons. Castle seek justice stunned. Turns already dead. He sits so still, eyes open wide, face frozen stiff, a terrible sight. At that point, Herm put up a hand to stop me. I heard the tale that Run turned in the song often concerned. An air of current surround all the festivals. It's true that often said but Herm, the current has long since been defeated. So what? Demons are created of hell. Again the room grew loud and muttered. Cutting off the Run sharply breaks out his orders. Continue. If someone can run these demons of hell, they might not be of this world themselves. Putting that together with someone who had illness will towards this country. Their eyes sparkled and said, Run Taro. Yes. The land around the neighbor castle that was destined of Run Taro. When our army defeated the Red Terror, we defended their land and gave some in thanks for support. So in other words, the land where the castle stood belongs to Red Terror. Right. So just us and the castle being attacked makes sense. Current run town motive. Precisely, Jordan. And what more? Turn practice run medicine. So the one in the song whose dead said and eyes open remained to his dying praise. He died during praying. Last night, after hearing the song, I did some research on the castle book. I found the book saying, in fact, his corpse remains with Yarnan Castle. Out of the fear in sight, he was never touched, false to pride this castle. And Ferdinand Kern, Hearn looked up and shouted, Right. Last night on Herb's order, I followed the demons. They rose during the day, but decreased in numbers every more by night, which means we can assume they are returning to some kind of route of sleep during the day. Interesting. Where did they go? To Kern's castle. After that, Kern speaks Spanish. The room fell into complete silence. Then all at once, shouting voices erupt. But how can we fight a dead man in hell? If he has gotten Sharon, then we don't have a chance. If that is true, there is a way. Like I said, it may be Durandar who summoned the demons. If it was him, his corpse should be inside the ruins of Kern Castle. It's said that fire is burning again. If the Kern, his body's dead, then the demon may also disappear. This time, the silence was gone along. The eyes of everyone's treasure were right on Hearn. That's a different thing to say for certain. Hearn spoke up boldly. Perhaps, but I don't think we have any other choice. Not against a enemy who's dead, a man in hell. For a few moments, Hearn flicked his fan open and closed. Then, after a loud sharp, it shut. He pointed the fan at Hearn. Come up with a strategy with the next few days. We head out for the Kern Castle. Hearn grew a deep nod. Yes, sir. Understand. When the ranger, the face of the filled outward, bring with accent, we might be able to take out all the demons at once. The thought of nature couldn't appear. I'm so ready to show them what I've got. But try not to run too far ahead. Harry and then left. The next thing I knew, only Herb and I were left in the room. It was kind of awkward. We remained as his seats. Neither of us looked at each other, not wanting to leave. Helen had saved me from the frozen doom. I wondered what had changed. Herb, what you said back there? Princess, we both start to speak at the same time. Then we both suddenly fell quiet. You can go first. No, please, you go ahead. Actually, I didn't have anything important to say. I only wanted to ask why he corrected me. Mine wasn't important either. We never get anywhere like this. When were you going to say just... Now, please, you can go first. I just want to say that from tonight on, I won't be asking for you anymore. Huh? Harry looked away, trying to not meet my eyes. I have been my imagination, but it looked like he was blushing. You mean you don't want me anymore? Yes, or no, not that. I mean, yes, but, Harry sung over his words for a while, and then he sang return. As I waited for his ride, the next voice I heard, in fact, did you really think you could fool me with that excuse? Both of us glanced up in surprise. The son's voice. Father, what are you doing here? Weren't you the first one to leave? I forgot this and came back to get it. He picked up something from the floor. Your fan. I glanced at Norm. You could have just sent a page to get it for you. Oh, don't be like that. I wanted a word with you two alone. Then turned towards us and pointed with us with the fan. Caring for him why he's sick? Ha! As if you were the only reason. You may not have crossed the final line, but it's obvious that you two have been into it. Hers only stares at Nern. Nern smirks and then he points the fan at me. Princess, I'm surprised at you. Carrying on a trend with someone you only just met? Huh? If I knew you were that easy, I would have gone after you myself first. At first, her words didn't record with my brain. The same seems to be true for her. Do you say someone she only just met? Herm leans forward, his eyes widen with surprise. Why, yes, I did. Is that a problem? Why did you say that? My voice was shaking with shock. Good question. Why did I say that? Herm hid his mouth with the fan. His eyes smiled. Then he shut the fan and snapped on the palm of his hand. Don't tell me you don't know yet, Herb. If you not, why don't I let you in on the real way we came to meet? Huh? Would you like to know? It may, in fact, be much, much more novel about all these things that even the princess and son unbelievable at Norm. His profile was as a servant of a warrior and in battle. Then he curled smoke. I do not need your help. What was that? You don't want to know? No. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But when I do, I want to hear everything from Rose. Slowly stood, turned to me, and held out his hand. Princess, please tell me everything. I was hesitating to find out. I would regard having to leave this world too much. But if there's a chance I could hear the truth and still stay, I'd like to know. And I want to hear it from you more than anyone else. Herb looked at me with a bold glaze. His voice had just a strength. His eyes were clear and cool, no hint of the darkness shadows that were present when he tortured me. All right, Herb, I'll tell you everything. The time has come. Well then, perhaps we could go to my room, and all of a sudden Herb's smile disappeared. His eyes flew open, and his eyes covered his mouth. Herb? Herb, what is it? Herb frowned too and starts to walk over to us. I picked her face and gasped. From between Herb's spoke by Job's blood. Herb? Even as I screamed, Herb fell to the floor with a thunk before my very eyes. Ooh, his sickness is getting to him. And I think the answer of can a sickness pass on to the other is a yes. Oh dear. Bye.